Hello, everybody. It's me, Kelly. My grandson and my husband's coming. This is our nightly talk. And my grandson likes to, he's going to get mad because I just took this from him. He likes to feed himself. Here you go, buddy. Can you show everybody how you feed yourself? There you go.
Yay!
Good boy. Where'd that paper towel go? No, a minute ago he did it too fast and smacked himself right in the eye. Kind of like what Alyssa did. I still have the nasal problem. It's allergy season too. And, but we decided to talk, oh dear. We decided to talk about, well, I decided to talk about sex offenders for the sole purpose about a month ago. And I was in there doing a few things in the bedroom downstairs. And I ran across this again. And me and a friend were talking about it a couple of days ago. You know, came down the street. Anyway, she was trying to get more information about them, and they said they can only give out so much, and I'm like, the guy's right there. Anyway, so basically it was a community notice. Now, I've never got one of these, and I will show you this because I've got my address blocked out. It's a community notice. I normally get these on my email. I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to show, so I'm just going to show you his face. I marked out his address, whatever. He is a registered sex offender. He moved from Phoenix, Arizona on March 3rd, 1998. It was sexual exploitation of children, sexually motivated, and supposedly what my neighbor said when she called to check on him, one other bite, baby, was that he was into little boys, basically, into boys. But the thing is I don't understand. Now, this guy lives, how many houses would you say to the left of us?
5 houses down.
5 houses down. Well, you got it down pat. No, but I keep a really close watch on my kids. I mean, my daughter, Alyssa, anyway. And I always have my other children, although they're grown. I still I still keep tabs on them. And, babe, you're not in the film, the camera.
No.
Because I'm feeding.
Because you want to show TJ.
Well.
But anyway, I'm still here.
Yeah. You guys know what he looks like. Not a big secret. I don't hide him in the basement that often. Trick. I'm only kidding.
Save me.
You thought that was funny too? Tell Grandpa hi. You say hi? You know how to say hi. Can you tell everybody on camera hi? I like that look he
He's
gives.
like too busy eating.
Yeah, it's like he's... He'll sit there for 30 minutes with just that little bit on the spoon and just sit there knowing there's nothing on it and still eat it. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch bases on that and say I don't understand how they are not allowed within so many feet of a school but right next door to, a child. I don't get it. I understand he did his time and I respect that. He did his time in jail, but it's like taking an alcoholic into a bar and saying, teasing. It's like a tease. It's a big tease. When he sees the little boys or whatever his interest is running around, kids running around in the neighborhood, it's a big tease to him. Just like if you take an alcoholic into a bar with when he's got other choices to go to, here you go, buddy. Take it. You can do it. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to give him a bath, or Brianna's going to have to give him a bath. Huh. But, it's like taking an alcoholic into a bar. It's like, it's a big tease. What do you say on that? You haven't said really nothing on it. Normally, you're pretty much talkative.
But I don't know. With this subject, I mean, I think a lot of states the law is too. It's too much of a line.
What do you mean a line with what?
Okay, well, perfect example that I keep thinking of is, I remember a few years back, this case in Idaho. These two teenagers.
Idaho?
These two teenagers. I mean, they were in love with each other. They were planning on getting married after high school.
We're not talking about.
But one turned 18. The other one was still 17.
So pregnant. It's okay for this guy to mess with little kids. I'm not going to hold on.
She got pregnant.
Because that we're not talking about that. We're talking about sex offenders.
Yeah, and he has to register as a sex offender from now on.
Well, that's ignorant. Because they were 1 year difference. 1 year difference. I'm talking about this guy. This guy was messing in his 30s. He's 53 now. He was messing with babies. He was messing with children.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about sex offenders, not ignorant shit like that.
Well,
I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm very touchy on this.
No, but that 18-year-old is a sex offender.
Well, see, that's sad. That's what I said. It sucks. Sad. But now I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
People with the biggest, a lot bigger age spread than just 1 year.
Well, he's targeting little kids. Yeah. Young kids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Stuff like that, where the age difference is really big and it's clearly not consensual type stuff. I mean, you brought up one time, maybe what they need is instead of, like these elderly communities, where they all live in the same neighborhood. They need a big-ass fucking prison, excuse my language. Put them all in the same neighborhood. Put them all in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, put them all in the same neighborhood and let them do each other. That's the way I feel, because you know what? This little boy's going to grow up. I mean, he could be eyeing this little boy. And Kim was telling me that her kids were like, Mom, he's right next door. He's right next door. She's like, bull crap. I'll be damned if he wasn't right next door to her house. Right next door. I was like, what? I don't know. Like I said, I believe you do your time. You do the crime, you do your time. Burglaries, yeah. They learn. I feel they do learn. Because, but then again, some of them don't. Like, I'm not, somebody in my family, not related to me, but somebody that was in my family that was related to somebody in my family. They were with them. Never learned that lesson because I think he's in prison to this day. Yes, Papa. But he's in prison to this day. He's spent more time in prison than he has out on the streets. But see what time that is. Sex offenders, like this, I don't understand how. You can say it.
It's only 6 minutes.
Okay. Sex offenders, let me give you a bite, buddy. That are to that magnitude, I just don't understand. I know they do their time. Like that's where I was. I was busy feeding my grandson. But they do their time. I understand that. I'm watching him because there's some chunks in this, and he don't have any of his back teeth. He chews with all of his front teeth.
And some of them do learn their lessons. Others, they don't. They
exactly. But sex offenders, like an alcoholic, and once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. You take an alcoholic into a bar, or you sit there and drink in front of them. 90% they're going to say no. I've changed. But it's like a tease though. It's a tease. He sees all these little boys running around in the neighborhood, and everybody got this. And I'm surprised because this is the first time I have ever gotten one of these in the mail. Yeah. I always get them on the internet, and it doesn't even show a face. You have to look. You have to dig deep. Anyway, so...
And then you find out that they're 6 neighborhoods away from you.
And I understand everybody, like I said, I'm not sitting there saying the man didn't do his time, because his crime was committed in 1998. He's 53 years old now, so he was in his 30s then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. But here's the thing, but I don't know how long he's been out. Calm down. How long has he been out? I don't know.
And and has he been... Obviously, he's been clean since because it was that many years. He hasn't been,
Well, like I said, you've been clean. I quit smoking almost 4 years ago. Doesn't mean I'm not going to pick up a cigarette. If I have people smoking around me constantly, I put it this way, I'm tempted to smoke again, but I just don't.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to. That doesn't mean my ex-husband's an alcoholic. Sorry, but he is. But he don't drink no more. He's still an alcoholic.
I mean, I'd like to know if my next door neighbor is an arsonist.
But let me get back on my ex-husband.
Too.
He's an alcoholic. And when I say that, I say it with respect because he has quit drinking. But, when you get him around things like if he's around people drinking, he'll drink O'Doul's. But, I mean, it's still the temptation. He tells me he's tempted all the time. Now, what were you saying about the next-door neighbor?
I was saying it'd be nice to know if my next-door neighbor was an
I'd rather have him still than have them have sex with my son.
Yeah,
sorry.
But I'm just saying...
But what? There ain't no buts when it comes to that.
No, I'm just saying it would be nice to know that, too.
Yeah. See, me and him butt heads on a few things. I'm sorry, y'all. Me and him do butt heads on a few things. I misunderstand him sometimes, and I do apologize sometimes. Yeah. Sure. I do apologize. Yeah, tell him about it.
I mean, if my neighbor was in prison, I'd sure like to know for what.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, just because I didn't get a code.
Here's an example. Officers came to my door about a week ago, and knocked on the door. And my son's here. My son's 19, my youngest son. And they said, is Brennan... Well, Brennan said the cops are here. He put on a jacket, or whatever, and went out and talked to him. They were actually looking for somebody that my son hung around with. And it was not, somebody stole a weapon, I guess a gun, I don't know. Somebody stole a weapon out of an officer's unlocked police car that was in the neighborhood. We have like, our neighborhood's filled with officers, or not filled, but 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a big, big community. Trying to see how far are we into. Okay, hold on. Grandma's almost done.
10.
Okay, we got enough time. But they came to the door. My son went out there, and I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm sorry. I got my mind on my grandson here too.
But the fact that they came to this house.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't a suspect.
Yeah, they still.
It's because in their system they know that these kids hung around each other, and they might still be hanging around each other.
Yes, exactly. Because my son, you know, lo and behold, he's 19. The one you've seen in my last video, the pie face. He's had trouble when he was a teenager, but he hasn't had any trouble, knock on wood, as an adult. But they know that these kids hang out with each other. I'm watching this because, like I said, he don't have any back teeth. Wait, I'm not done. He don't have any back teeth, and I'm feeding him chunks, and he's only got front teeth. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let you say.
I'm saying these criminals, no matter what crime they commit, they get out of prison and it sticks with them for the rest of their life. Like Brennan, it's going to stick with him for the rest of his life because he had a run-in with the police a few years back, and his name is now attached whenever there's a problem in this area.
Well, the problem that my son had is he was he just walked into an officer looked like he was beating up on his friend. So he went up to the officer and said, "What are you doing?" As you guys can see, he's a big, tall kid. Ain't got nothing to do with his race, whether he's black, white, Asian, mixed like he is, or whatever. He walked towards the officer, I guess, with an aggression. I'm sorry, baby, it's fine.
And the officer was already in the heightened state.
Yeah, he was already in a heightened state because he had about 20 other teenagers.
20 kids just started running.
Yes, and Britta wasn't even there. I'm sorry, babe, there's not any left.
But he walked up, instead of standing back and just ask, verbally saying, "Hey, what's going on?" He walked towards the cop. The cop thought that was threatening, and he punched my son in the face. He did. He punched my son, and he was only walked that close to him. Got that close to him.
No, he didn't. He wasn't even close to him. He was about this far, and the officer charged him because he felt threatened. But the way Brennan was walking, Brennan does that. He's a bleed. He walks galoppy. Yeah. Go get Bree. Hold on, we're gonna get my daughter. What is it on? We'll be right back. Okay, sorry everybody. My grandson needed his sippy cup, but I'm gonna close out the sex offender notification thing that I got in the mail here. I just want to know everybody's feedback and thoughts and input on it. And sorry, my hair's still a little wet, and I don't have no chemical in it, no chemical or no oils in it. But I did cut it myself, and it's in a V shape because I put it on the top of my head, and yeah, I'm going there. He's like, "Where the hell did that come from?" But anyway, so my husband wants to talk about something. I have no idea what it is.
Well, a couple days ago, one of my coworkers, she works at the front desk, she asked me to cover for her because she needed to go take a drug test.
Oh, I thought that she didn't need to go take a dump.
No, it was a drug test. Now, the reason she's taking this drug test is because she got pulled over for a DUI. And she thought, wait a minute, I was drinking, not taking drugs. Why are they making her take a drug test?
Well, who the hell can you trust? Who the hell can you trust that drinks and gets behind the wheel? Think about it.
But what I'm saying is, why
give her a drug test?
Why should the state or county or city, whatever?
Do you know what one drug test pulls up?
Is it going to pull up that she's drinking?
It pulls up drinking, drugs. Remember the one we got for Brennan back in, when my son was like 15, 16? Yeah. It pulled up THC. It pulled up THC, which is marijuana. It pulled up...
But I don't think it pulled up alcohol.
Yeah, it did. It did. It pulled up alcohol. We got... Shit, it cost us enough. It pulled up about 5. But here's the thing. Even if it didn't, if she's drinking and driving, she's got to be on some kind of flipping drug. I mean, I'm sorry for those of you, if you do drink and drive, just don't fucking do it. And excuse my language. And I will put a disclaimer before, and I should have did that there's going to be cursing on my channel because that's just me. I get into these talks, and
I mean, 'cause
If she got pulled over for drinking and driving, then
she doesn't do drugs. She just drinks.
so it's okay for her to take a bottle to work and drink while she's working.
No, what I'm saying is the city or whatever
Gave her a drug test.
Part of her punishment is she has to go pay for a drug test because she's got to pay for it.
Well,
too.
she's lucky she
And
didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what I'm getting at is, make her go to AA. Make her do something that for the drinking. Don't test to see if she's doing marijuana. If that's
Well,
not what
she
she's put on
should
for.
be. She probably is. If you're okay. Well, then again,
Okay,
alcohol.
I've never done drugs, but I have drank.
I know.
And
And what happened that one time that you drank, and you were driving? You pulled over because you said I can't drive. You pulled over because you still had fucking. Excuse my language. You still had smarts, right? You thought, you know what? I'm drinking, but I can't drive. So you pulled over, and you went to sleep on the side of the road.
No, I never even drove my car
Okay, why didn't you?
because I knew I was not.
You
gonna
weren't
be able
supposed
drive.
to.
I wasn't going to be able
Okay.
to drive. So what I did was I went in the parking lot, climbed in the back seat, and fell asleep.
Okay, here you go. You had the smarts.
Yeah.
She didn't. She got behind the wheel and drove. So that's why they're thinking she had to be on drugs. So they're going to give
No.
her a drug test. Sorry, yeah. What do you mean, nah?
I know a lot of people that don't do
Well, yeah,
drugs.
so do I. But that does.
But
Put
yet
it
they
this
get
way:
pulled
when
over
you
for DUIs.
okay, listen to me though. When you get pulled over for driving under the influence, driving under the intoxication, drinking and driving, whatever you want to call it, DUI, driving under the influence.
Yeah.
When you get pulled over for something like that, it clicks in their mind. You're not there. Okay, is she? I'm sorry, you have no rights because she could have killed somebody.
I understand that, but my point is how silly it is.
It's not silly, dude. They should check her for more than just. They should check her for a lot of things. Let me get some water, people. Go ahead. It's not silly. I'm sorry, but it's not.
I think it is. They're testing for the wrong things. Okay, I spent 20 years in the military, and in that time, they do drug test. They do drug tests on us. At almost regular intervals, randomly. But yet people are still getting DUIs. Why?
Well,
they're not doing drugs.
Or maybe-
they're drinking, and
or
they want to
maybe-
go home, and that's when they get busted.
Well, maybe she learned her lesson. Maybe she won't drink and drive no more, so she don't have to go through the drug test. Because to me,
Yeah.
you're innocent until proven guilty. She was proven guilty when she got behind the wheel of that car because she not only put her life in danger, but other people's lives in danger. So yeah, they have the right.
for taking alcohol.
Yeah, but they have the right. How do you know she's telling you the truth? How do you know there wasn't something else? How do you know this? Because you're taking her word for it. How do you? There's a reason why they're testing her for drugs too. There's a reason why. Simple as that. You know, I don't know. You don't know. But all I know is
I've
that
never
they're
been
testing.
busted for drinking and driving. So I don't
Neither
know
did
all
I.
the
Neither
penalties.
have I. But here's the thing: is they're testing her for some reason for drugs. How long has she been working with you?
Almost 3 months now because
And
she's a temp, and after 3 months, if the bosses like her, they can hire her full time.
who's she talking to about all this? Was it just you or?
She's talking to other people in the office too, about the fact that she had to take this drug test, even though she only
There's a
got
reason for
busted
it though.
for drinking and driving.
There's a
Had nothing
reason
to do
for
with-
it. Like I said, I've never been pulled over
Drugs.
for drinking and driving.
Yeah.
That one night, he did get pulled over. You had a couple of beers, but it was like hours. I mean, he'd already had so much water. He
It's like
wasn't even
5 hours
buzzed. Yeah,
early.
yeah, exactly. And I was 3 sheets to the wind, but I was in the passenger side. And we're going down in California. This is when we lived out there. We're going down, what was that street?
I don't know, but we were going to take a left to go home.
What street is Fanny's on?
I don't remember, but I remember it was we were gonna
Broadway,
take a left-
Broadway.
We were going to take a left to go home.
And we were
So
going to
I
take a
went
left
the
to go
left lane.
home. And I said, no, let's go to Denny's because I was hungry.
Let's go
Girl
Taco Bell
gotta
or something
eat.
like that.
Girl gotta eat.
But that was straight. So I went into the left lane to go home.
And as soon
she
as-
says, let's go eat. So I go back into the lane that goes straight.
And as soon as he said
As soon
that,
as I did that,
as soon
as
as
soon
I
as I
did that,
jogged
what did
over-
I say? I said, you're going to get pulled over.
As soon as I jogged like that, the cop came up behind me.
Yeah, before the cop even came up, I said, you're about to get pulled over. I didn't even see no cop. I just knew because
And then-
we just left the bar.
Yeah. And then what's funny is the cop comes over on her side of the car,
I'm
leans
busted
in,
up.
and
I am
and
laughing.
starts saying, I smell alcohol. And she's all, that's because I'm drunk.
I was very wasted. I was married at the time, going through a divorce though. and we were roommates. And the thing is the reason why I was laughing so hard because I said, you're about to get pulled over. And I didn't even, I just thought it. And all of a sudden, woo!
But he had me go through the whole sobriety stuff, you know, the touch your nose, count to 10, whatever it was, say your alphabet, all that. And I passed all that because, like I said, you know, I had a couple of drinks, but that was like 4 or 5 hours ago.
Yeah, it was, you were even honest with me. You said I had a couple of beers, but that was like 5 hours ago. You know, you said something to the effect, which I was laughing. You said, I got to be sober to take care of her.
So, yeah. And he's like, well, I smell all of your breath. And you hear Kelly in the car.
I couldn't quit laughing.
Because I was kissing him.
I was kissing him. I was so wasted that night. I'm going to tell you, it was I didn't get out often, you know. I couldn't get a babysitter. I mean, I could, but I trusted my children with very few. And, but that night I was like, okay, Oma, which is the kid's grandmother from my ex-husband's, his mom. She had the kids. I was like, oh yeah, I'm good to go now. So, you know, I've got a couple of days and I'm like, I'm like burning the what do you call that? Burning the midnight oil. So I was like, I'm not ready to go home yet. I mean, you know, this man here, you know what men got on their mind. He's like, let's go home. I'm like, you better feed this girl. No, I'm hungry. But, so we did that. What I was laughing about, though, is because I told him, I said, you're going to get pulled over. Because we had just pulled out of a bar. I mean, we were 5 minutes. Not even that, 2 minutes from the bar.
Not even that. We were at the end of the block.
Well, you pulled out of the bar, right, exactly.
Went to the first intersection, got in the left lane to go home. You decided to eat, so I went back into the lane to go straight, and that's when the cops showed up.
They were fun memories, though. The hell was that? Alyssa's iPad?
O'clock.
Oh, 7 o'clock. Okay, how many minutes does that say?
9 or so.
Okay, yeah, we got about another 5 minutes. But those are good memories, though. But as far as the drinking and driving,
I mean,
I'm guilty of it. I have done it, but it's been around the block to go pick up my son. But I've had, 1 or 2 sips of alcohol, and that was it. I just people don't drink and drive because you know what? My friends, my son's best friend from years ago, he got hit by a drunk driver. What was it? 2013?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
October 2013.
He was walking down the sidewalk.
Yeah, he was walking down the sidewalk, going home from work. Got killed by a drunk driver. I mean, the guy's car. I don't know.
Wasn't it a hit and run?
It was a hit and run. Yeah, they ended up finding him because he ended up telling somebody, "I think I killed somebody." But I don't know. It just that saddens me because the boy spent the night. He was like a second child to me. Or I'm not going to say a second child because at that time I had 3 children. He was like a 4th child.
He was like a son to you. Yeah.
He was a good kid. Jacob Greenwald, if you want to look him up, he was my son was on the news about it and everything. But I don't know. It was in San Diego County.
They're lucky he confessed because I got into an accident one time.
No, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. They didn't need a confession. He actually pleaded not guilty. Did you not know that? It's still look it up. Jacob Greenwald.
What I was going to say was, I was involved in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I was making a left, another guy was making a right, and he swung really wide,
right, and
clipped my back bumper. Almost tore it all the way off. This was when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was Doug, and I get out my car, to say what the heck, and change the information and whatever, so we can get these fixed, the car fixed. Well, he takes off, so I have my car. I'm chasing him through the city streets,
hell?
Trying to get his license plate.
Oh, trying to get his license plate.
Trying to get his license plate or something.
You needed your cell phone.
Well, 1990.
That's what I'm saying. You needed a cell phone.
But all I knew it was a Doug El Camino.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew. So for the next 2 or 3 weeks, me and my friend were driving all over the neighborhood, just looking for an El Camino. Mm-hmm. We pulled up to one stoplight, and right next to us is an El Camino with blue scratch marks up in the front where he would have hit me. And I'm like, that's the car. So we finally got it. We told the police. Police didn't know who was driving at the time because it was either him or his son. One of them had prior DUIs, but I think the other one covered and said, no, that was me that night. So nothing ever came of it. And I'm pretty sure it was probably the guy that was drunk. That's why he took off.
How much time do we have? Because I'll tell a little bit of a story.
11.
Okay, when I was with my ex-husband years ago, he got mad at me, and I told him I was going to go, out, whatever. We had, the kids, they were little. I think it was Brianna. And I was going to go to Mary Ann's house, as a matter of fact. And he was like, I hope you have an accident, because he was pissed.
Yeah.
He didn't want me to go out unless it was for his little bullshit. Anyway, so I was like, okay, whatever. I went out, and I ended up, his car would conk out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, my car, I didn't even know you then, so... Anyway, so I did a U-turn in the middle of the street, and in between well, not even a U-turn. I did a turn. There was like a big vacant field. And in between me turning, the car conked out, but my back taillights were still available to be seen. Well, this car came over where Mary Ann used to live, off of, gosh, I can't even think of the damn streets. I haven't lived in California since 2008. But he came up over Hamashaw. People call it Jamaica, but it's Hamashaw. He came up over the hill and rammed me, and I remember hearing screeches, thinking somebody's about to get into an accident. And all of a sudden, I was thrown. And he told me, well, you stalled, and you know whatever. And I told him, yeah, it was my fault. I feel it was my fault. It was the first accident I've ever had. I've been in accidents, but this is the first accident I ever had. I feel it was my fault at the time because, yeah, the car stalled. But he was going in a 30-mile-per-hour lane. You know that road's only 30 miles per hour. 35 at the most now. I don't know what it is. But he ran into me. He should have never been going over that hill that fast.
Yeah.
You know, because in California, it's not flat. It's wham, you know. And he ran into me. Anyway, he followed me home because I didn't have... Tony, my ex, didn't have any insurance on the car. I didn't have a vehicle at the time. And he, what does that say? Time. And he followed me, make it real fast. He followed me home. I gave him my information. Well, the next day, I thought about it. I thought, you know what? It's not my fault. So he came over with an officer, and I said, I have no idea who he is, officer. Thank God Tony's car wasn't there, because he wasn't living with me, my ex. He was just babysitting his own child. Anyway, he came, officer said, well, there's nothing we could do. You don't have any proof. You should have called the cops. And I wasn't even at fault. He was at fault. I didn't care about my ex's car because it was a piece of crap anyway. I mean, I cared about it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm trying to rush this. Everybody stay positive, focused, motivated, determined, on track. Steve's going to be starting probably it might be called Raw Talk Radio. We're not sure yet. You know, after tax season or before. I might make it up for him and give him the information, and he can do with it what he wants. Anyway, take care. Talk to you soon. What do you say?
See ya.
Thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and share. And we'll see you next Wednesday.